Please use the sharing tools found via the email icon at the top of articles. Copying articles to share with others is a breach of ft.com TNCS and copyright policy. Email licensing at ft.com to buy additional rights. Subscribers may share up to 10 or 20 articles per month using the gift article service. More information can be found at https://www.ft.com/tour. https://www.ft.com/9b9815826-b0029665b-C-E8. The U.S. actively supported the Indonesian military's killing of as many as 1 meter suspected communist sympathizers in the mid-1960s, despite concerns about the reasons behind the massacre, according to newly declassified American documents. Some 30,000 pages of files from the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta, declassified on Tuesday, showed that American officials carefully tracked the 1965-66 killings, for which the U.S. provided the Indonesian military with money, the equipment and lists of communist officials during the height of the Cold War. The documents also show that the U.S. had credible information to contradict the Indonesian military's claims that the killing of 6 army generals in a botched September 1965 coup had been ordered by the Indonesian Communist Party, PKI. The massacre paved the way for the 32-year military dictatorship of Suharto. The files comprise the largest and most complete record of Indonesian politics at the time, said Bradley Simpson, an Indonesian history professor at Northwestern University who led the file's digitization. Particularly because the Indonesian government hasn't declassified most of its own records from the period. According to a November 1965 file, U.S. officials were informed that the killing of the 6 army generals was not necessarily the doing of the PKI, but may have been an intergovernment operation to seize a limited group of top generals. The general's murder on September 30, 1965 is the central event to the Suharto regime's narrative, said John Rusa, an Indonesian history scholar at the University of British Columbia. It is remarkable that U.S. Ambassador at the time, Marshall Green, was aware that the plot was exaggerated in 1965 and in fact gave credence to it, according to these documents. The files also showed that U.S. officials were informed that many confessions from suspected communists had been falsified by the Indonesian military. The declassified files comprise most of the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta's daily record between 1964 and 1968, a restive period that saw Indonesia transition from the autocratic, post-colonial government of its founding president Sukarno to Suharto. One declassified embassy report from 1967, when Suharto was firmly ensconced as a leader, states that the U.S. had a heavy stake in the outcome of the authoritarian regime's success. Anti-corruption watchdog Transparency International has called Suharto, who embezzled more than $30 billion from Indonesia during his lifetime, one of the most corrupt leaders in modern history. The files also contain further evidence of the U.S.'s role in the allocation of Indonesia's natural resources in the years following the massacre. The Indonesian economy had collapsed during the regime change, and 2 documents from 1967 show the Suharto administration trying to entice Western companies to return to the country. The declassification is a joint project of the U.S. government-affiliated National Declassification Center and the National Security Archive, a nonprofit headquartered at George Washington University in Washington, D.C.